Discrimination today in the workplace is a very big deal. You see a lot of managers and people with power and privilege not recognizing one's talents because of their appearances. I know from past experiences, people today are just judged super harshly. You have people of different races working in, big corporations or businesses, and these people feel like they don't have chances of getting, promotions or raises because they're not white or male. And it's stuff like that which arises conflict today in our society, creating a bunch of conflict and problems in the workplace. A little preview today of what I'm going to be talking about. It's no secret that discrimination in the workplace today is very common. And race and gender are a couple of types of discrimination in the workplace that play a big majority of problem. And I chose this topic just because of its relativeness and the problematic influences it has today on our lives. You see a lot of people struggling and wanting that raise or maybe that promotion or just a chance to speak their opinions in their businesses and their workplace, because there's nothing better than being heard. When you're working in a corporation, you're supposed to have a voice, and people will decide to take that voice away from you due to your sex, gender, or your race, ethnicity, your religious beliefs, and stuff like that, which is a gift. It's not something to push people away because they have or they are. A few types of discrimination I'm talking about today. According to Rocket Law 2018, there are numerous types of workplace discriminations. And like I've said, you got race, age, gender, sex, religious beliefs, ethnicity, all these kind of discriminations. Yet we still find that there's problems in the workplace, even after knowing and instilling laws in our workplace. People still seem to push their anger or whatever they're going through towards people that fit some of these types of discrimination. And a big thing that we see today is race discrimination, which in fact was prohibited by the Civil Rights Act of 1964, according to Rocket Law 2018. Gender discrimination was also prohibited by the Civil Rights Laws of 1964. And in fact, religion discrimination is actually believed that you can practice your religious beliefs and they are acceptable in the workplace unless it presents an undue burden to your employer. A little more information. According to Gregory 2014, Article 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in the workplace. Now, this act was to instill justice into the workplace. Ever since this law was created, it has actually minimized the damage of discrimination in the workplace. It's not even close to being completely gone, but each year you see change in the workplace and discrimination is starting to move out of the workplace, creating a more equality place for people of different groups to work in. According to Personnel Today, 2013, the Equality Act provides that women are also entitled to equal pay for similar work or equal value. A big thing that I've always heard and that shows through research is that women are taken advantage of. Women work just as hard, if not harder, in most jobs in the workplace. Yet, somehow, they seem to not get paid nearly as much. Now, I know the stereotype discusses how, men are stronger, supposed to be the man of the house, bringing the money, and that's been a thing for years and years. But in fact, there's a lot of women that are actually more empowered than men are today. And, you have to think about women who are single moms and have kids to raise. You shouldn't be making life decisions for somebody based on their gender. So that's another big thing we see today. A little more information. According to Paychecks 2019, in 2018, it was recorded that there was 76,418 charges of workplace discrimination by workers. And in fact, 2/3 of that are made up just with race and gender. 32.3% of workplace discrimination cases are dealt with race. And just below that, at 32.2% of workplace discrimination cases are dealt with gender and sex, according to Paychecks 2019. Now, the biggest thing about these two types of discrimination are they just seem to be more shouted out than others. You have age discrimination. Well, no one's gonna really know your age. You have religious discrimination. No one's gonna know your religious beliefs by just looking at you. So when you see race and gender, it's more of qualities you can see by just looking at them. Like the phrase, "Don't ever judge a book by its cover," kind of deal. That's exactly what this discrimination is judging people and making it to where they can't succeed in life because you are literally judging them like you would judge a book by its cover. Steps towards getting rid of discrimination in the workplace. A lot of businesses have an anti-discrimination policy through all levels of their workforce and workplace. Active positioning of companies, leadership, and diligent selection of employees are a big thing. And when you have employees that want to make the business grow and succeed and treat all people, all employees, all members and staff with equality and not by looks, that's when a business or company can really take off and grow and really work together to succeed. When you have someone in charge of the workplace that is very selfish and thinks that certain people don't deserve certain things, that's when it's really easy to discriminate against others. And you see that a lot today in the workplace of like bigger up, branches of businesses to where, you might have a manager that is white male, has a lot of privilege, white power, and they might think, let's keep it that way and let's hire Adam and we'll give him the raise instead of, these other couple of guys who might not be white or might not be male, they could be female. And it's stuff like that that makes people anger and want to release that action of, we deserve better than this. We are all human and we are all created as equals. And that's just really what you see today in the workplace. To conclude, discrimination will always be in the workplace. Ever since the Act of 1964, it has begun to minimize the amount of discrimination in the workplace. Now you see a lot of, Hispanic, African American people that are actually managers and have higher positions, as well as women who are working above men and are their bosses. And it's stuff like that that really shows everybody how if we really work hard at something, we can achieve it. We come from slavery to where, two different kinds of or two different types of race absolutely hate each other, and you look at it years down the road, how we all work together, we get along, stuff like that, just how we evolve. Um, is workplace discrimination really being handled meaningfully? Yes and no. In fact, in 1997, all the way up to 2018, nearly 70% of discrimination cases were found to have no issue, and the cases were dropped, according to Paychecks 2019. That's a really high percentage of discrimination cases that were apparently to have no issue. If we really want to make an impact and make a change in the workplace, we have to take these cases seriously and figure this whole thing out, because if you're just throwing away cases because you think it's irrelevant and people are trying to get, profit or whatnot, just saying or making excuses that they didn't get the job because, they're a female, or maybe they're African American or Caucasian or Hispanic, or, whatever. If we don't do something, we're never going to be able to move on and really reach that full equality that we were meant to be. And here is my references.